There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We judge it for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Foreign people who willing to serve. Blessing our time and our efforts are rest. The brothers giving us here and the parents from there. The work with my life without fear.
A lyrical health.
Master.
Play Paris who make on you. I can't Sktv-Lib. C'est ma chenille, tina ke ase ma yamo. Enji sano muni, emu aye yo. Enji lofa mui, emu aye yo.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
Ena dine ya tumale, ena salia ya tumale, ena konakli ya tumale, ena kodubwa ya tumale, ena dine ya tumale, ena salia ya tumale, ena konakli ya tumale, ena kodubwa ya tumale, ena nakogi ya tumale, Sktv, ena nakogi ya tosi wako ma ya tumale,
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lopa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talk about podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Foreign people who willing to serve. The flesh, our time and our efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving are real and the premise from best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from Riverside to Raji to Chile, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Kidman, Montserrat, to San to Backwalu, from Maryland, Bonkan to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
How you registered your name on the Sons of Time?
So yes, indeed, this is how I would like to welcome you to the Sktv. This break quickly and be right back.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We judge it for podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Foreign people who willing to serve. Blessing our time and our efforts are rest. The brothers giving us here and the parents from there. The work with my life without fear.
A lyrical health.
Master.
Play Paris who make on you. I can't Sktv-Lib. C'est ma chenille, tina ke ase ma yamo. Enji sano muni, emu aye yo. Enji lofa mui, emu aye yo.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
ena dine ya tumale, ena salia ya tumale, ena konakli ya tumale, ena kodubwa ya tumale, ena dine ya tumale, ena salia ya tumale, ena konakli ya tumale, ena kodubwa ya tumale, ena nakogi ya tumale, Sktv, ena nakogi ya tosi wako ma ya tumale.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lopa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bringing good news and we give it to you. We talking for podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and I'm part of the club. For the top people who waiting to sell. The flesh, the time and the efforts are red. The broadcast we giving are real and I promise my best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandpa's and Nima to Lusa, from Riverside, River G to Chile, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Cape Mount, Montserrat, Sano to Backwalu, from Maryland, Bonkan to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
Wonderful, wonderful indeed. Sktv, it is the best. So, folks, what a way to welcome all of you indeed. Please share the show. The time check. What's the time up for your end? The time check here in Liberia is 7 minutes past 6. That's the time check. You know, we still setting up. So, yes, our team, our camera is now okay. Again, a way to welcome you. Good evening. Good evening to all of you, our dear channel listeners. So, let's share the show. All of us, we're sharing. Share the show. So many things today that are going to be happening on the show. So many things that we're going to bring out to you. So many information. Some of the information you don't easily get it on the other platform or some of the media network. But how be it, we're going to inform all of you as to what's happening, even the submission of the budget, the latest news coming in, and so forth. But I will be joined by my team, Sekou Kane and Steve Bode, or better say Mose, and that of Bizena Monk, or better Saras. They will be joining me here in a very short time from now on. But let's share the show, please. I'm appealing to all of us. Let's share myself. I'm doing that. And today is Monday. 18th of November. Wow, that's great. And this is how we like to welcome all of you. Indeed, we're going to recognize few of you who are commenting. Please comment, like, and share. Mose Yimpan. I hope I get a name correct. Mose S. Yimpan, watching through the YouTube. And let me say thank you so much, Brother Mose. He said hello, Sktv. Hello to you, my brother. And Young Papu. Thanks to Sktv family indeed. And to my good friend and brother Aliu Masale, watching from USA. Good evening to you, my brother. And Roslyn Dix also watching. Good evening to all of you. Please share the show. Yeah, Tim Monk is here. He's the one I like about the show. Not time to waste. My brother is over here. Monk, good evening.
What's up, Chief? What's going on?
Well, I'm okay. Just at the stomach, just too much until we don't even know which one to even.
Yeah, we got so many things happening today, but we'll try our best. We'll cover ground. We'll find a way to get around it. We will try to minimize the conversation and try to make it short and succinct, and we can cover the most important topic for the day. So share the show, guys.
Yeah, let me tell you, man, I like that. Let me tell you, because you say we still protesting in the country. You know, more coming to but maybe what's going on? I saw people with with the kind of combatant, especially the police officer. So more like, but maybe what happened in the country? I said, no, let me check. But another father, it was between students and the police officer. So the number is still continue, but we'll talk all of these things. So share the show. It's juicy. Indeed, it's juicy and it's getting interesting. Even the budget. My brother Monk was just sharing. Monk.
We'll talk about the budget as well. We for me, I always tell you, I don't take side in anything. It's very hard for me to take a side. I like to get all my facts, all my ducks in a row or in order before I can pick a side. I never went to law school, but I know how the functionalities or the intricacies of government, how it works. I follow issue. I try to have an open mind and then see where it leads to. And what we predicted, that's why it seems to be like the executive is leaning in that direction, even though some people say, oh, the law, as they listen to the or read the communication coming from the ECOWAS mediation team, they say the rules and order and the constitution are two different aspects. When you get to the other one, you will play by the constitution. For now, if it's political, you go by the rules, their own orders, their standing rules and order. And you got to know how to walk that fine line. Because even in the US, one of my senior brothers called the show last time, I would say, I won't even have it with Paulo. He said, but because when it comes to that, the constitution work here different. Was it the one that America? I said, my brother, the one thing that I know, when you really want to understand situation, our constitution turn to the U.S. Constitution. It will give you an in-depth because they go deep. They're on a lawyer. It's not just only what in the constitution. They got federal law, they got statute, they got rules and order here also. And I have seen them remove speaker here without using any constitutional provision. That's why I know even in the US here, but we will get there, and we are getting there gradually now. The budget is on the table. I mean, the draft budget for 2025. But we'll get to that, Mabel. Let's keep sharing the show.
Yes,
man.
yes,
We'll
get to all of these things. In fact, you just something good. Even including our own constitution, even though we have so many stories, so sometimes we won't be able to talk about some of these things in passing when it comes to education. But I think our people need to be educated about their own constitution as to what going on. You can't keep, more when I say this thing, people say, maybe, so yesterday people calling me PRC because more, we are still in the PRC era where nobody, our people, nobody cared about explaining the constitution until you got to go to court. No, I don't have to go to court before I know my right. More?
I know. 17 they are self-explanatory. It comes handy. You got to know. You don't need a court order. You don't need a lawyer to come and interpret certain basic principle to you. It almost like you don't need to be a chemist to know sodium chloride will get you salt. The one you can cook every day. You don't need to go and test it in lab. You know that sodium chloride is salt.
I like that.
So you don't need a chemist to come and tell you. Yeah.
Yes, but more, let's start with social issues. I don't know what are some of the social issues or news that you think that.
I didn't see nothing major in the social circle. I can, we've been having a lot of live Facebook video from the couple here in Minnesota. And over the past few days, in the last 48 hours, I didn't see anything that was eye-catching for me. Maybe the drama still continues, but when it comes to the social aspect, I can't tell you anything that caught my attention over the weekend. Yep.
Wonderful. But I want to ask you this question because there are so many, some of the unforeseen social interactions or forbidden, we say, that are ongoing quite recently, especially coming from our sisters or our mothers or our women back home. There's definitely, but I think Lorena Gay or some, I think I stay to be corrected. But again, these videos.
Are they saying hold on? Are they saying Lorena Gay can call what about the whole all of video was actually called? I know.
No, I don't think
the names are not even sound appropriate. I don't want to call what they call water bot. I mean, like what they heck.
You don't want control on the show. No, I beg you. Don't go that way. It's not how I beg you. But again, Mark, I'm a bit confused. Do I mean be frank, Mark? All of these things going on now between our sisters or our women, these things are things that are not part of our culture. But today, Mark, nobody is speaking to these things, apart maybe from you and myself right now. People concerning
what?
They are, into that social interactions, like someone would say, both females, interacting like male and female. I don't want to use maybe lesbian or something, but that's the kind of thing that we see. And this has been happening more or this year with one other lady, they always call, I don't know, father or what kind of, this kind of name. She used to do that also, interacting with some of our female friends, as a way of she's the man and the other person is the woman for her. And this thing been going on now. We see another new trend where we see two, ladies always on the internet quite recently, having some of the social interactions, like the other one is the man and the other one is the woman. And most of our women, or even the women advocates, they are not talking. So I'm not asking you, Mark, what's your own take on some of this? Because mind you, if okay, Mark, let me see. Sorry, I think I gotta put Mark back. Yeah, Mark.
You hear me?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Oh, okay. Maybe we live in a whole different world, a whole different society right now, and these things we talk about, everybody got their own personal belief, their own moral belief, what they subscribe to, or ideologically or philosophically. And these things will become common in Africa because in Africa we have the tendency of always going in the direction of Western society and the cultural impact. Now we got social media, we have access to information. So the whole thing about man, woman, and we have accepted it yet. It's mainstream. Matter of fact, it's all right now for people to come in the public. They are being taught in schools. I won't say being taught, but they accept people that subscribe to this same man and woman stuff. Even as far as elementary school now, for younger kids that even in fourth and third grades, whether they are drag queens, they go on school campuses, they read books to children. It is acceptable here now from a mainstream cultural perspective. And if these things are acceptable here, you know that over time they will transfer over to Africa or any parts of the world, because we tend to take our cues from the Western society. So whether it's in Liberia or any other country, there will be a time that you won't even be able to criticize them. Matter of fact, they are some of the more, they are given more opportunity here, certain jobs, certain field, whether you're working as a data analyst, you work in IT, you see these people, they are the one that your bosses. Some of them don't even have degree, bro. Let me be fair with you. I'm telling you, I know what I've seen over the years. Some of them will be your bosses and your immediate supervisor because they are part of that thing. They are not even, they can't even match you from an academic standpoint or in terms of credential, but they are giving first preference or preferences over people that choose to go the regular route. So it will keep happening in Africa. So just brace yourself that in the next 5 or 10 years, it will start becoming mainstream, and they won't even be doing it behind the scene, because these things, like I said, it's been happening forever, but people were tight-lipped on it. It's been behind the scene, not too many people you hear, but now it's coming in the open and in the public, and people will have to accept it. Whether you believe in it or not, you just have to live with the fact that's a new normal. Because if you get foreign or international partners that will be chastising you, that if you cannot recognize that right, they will withhold aid and certain benefit as though to come to an entire country, what do you think is going to happen? Most of the African countries, we just have to accept and embrace it. That's the new normal right now. So it will get worse than what you are seeing right now. So just get prepared. Prepare yourself mentally.
So Monk, to some of our followers who are asking questions to maybe what you want the woman to do or to say, let me be frank. I don't know what some of you maybe heard about Achi Pompom. If you do, then you will know exactly what I'm talking about. The activists by them, Achi Pompom, mind you, by that time, Truth FM, we were at Aspen Street, Monk, when Achi Pompom once upon a time was interviewed by some of our team members by them, as a right activist, someone who say it's the right of people to do whatsoever thing they want to do. And Monk, in less than 30 minutes time, Truth FM compound at Aspen Street was packed with a lot of women. Some of you women who asking me question. You asking me, Monk? Truth FM compound was packed because why? As Pompom said, it is the right of everyone to do what they want to do. So allow these people to do whatever thing they want to do. The Truth FM compound on Aspen Street was packed because the women was so disappointed, and in fact, even to the extent of Monk, police officers have to go there to rescue Achi Pompom by then. So the question some of you asking me, women have right, women have everything to put stop to some of these things that their daughters, their children are doing. So when we come here to talk about this thing, not that maybe we don't want people to have their own will. No, we want people to have their will, but it's not because you want to live that kind of luxurious life and you do things that are not part of our culture. That's what we are saying. So, Monk, before we transition, maybe you want to say.
Well, I think Gwen just struck a salient point here. She said, "Mom, you ain't know that the we have government passed the law, and we said this thing when you go to these international conferences or forum, you have to read the fine print, like we did on Sktv for you guys about the Nico Tech. You got to read the fine print, the disclaimer. You don't just go anywhere and sign document, put your signature and your date to it, right? You got to know, because every time this thing come up, I always tell people, every time a decision is made at a global level, it is done with motive and intent. You need to understand that motive and intent. Just because you are hungry in a broke country does not mean that everything that other people subscribe to, you got to be following them. And That's the fact. We went to Lusiaga, Zambia. We signed the document. So technically, we are one of the countries that is signatory to the protection of that. So we have to accept it. You could find yourself being mad with people, whether it was public intimacy between two men or two women on the street, whether you say this should do it behind the scene or in public. At the end of the day, we are a signatory to that document or to that declaration. So we have to accept it for what it is, whether we like it or not. And I saw people protesting at the Methodist church about it, the pastor trying to marry two women or two men. I can't remember what happened. But at the end of the day, when you put your name and you sign on behalf of your country to this declaration, to this international treaty, you will have to live by the consequences. You can't sign a document and then say, no, we don't accept it. No, you have to accept it. It's happening here in churches. Matter of fact, the churches even split on the issue here. In the biggest churches here, the Lutherans, the Episcopal, the Methodist church here. You go to church now, you see on their symbol, like their electronics or sign, you see the gay pride flag is there. So why would you say that you won't go to church again? So we are living in a whole different world now. I tell people, just know that what you are signing up for and what you can accept, because I know these things don't fly by. We are the most conservative people on the planet, as far as I'm concerned, from an ideological standpoint. That's why even when I came to the country, I see a lot of black people say they on the left. I don't know which part of how you read your own philosophy, but I know the most conservative people in the world are black people. Things that are too liberal, it does not fly well in African setting, because we from a traditional family background, the respect for elder, and those certain things that we practice is not in alignment with left-leaning ideology. So the most conservative people on the planet of all race, whether white, Latino, Asian, black people, are the most conservative people in the world. So when you can come here representing Africa, you come to this UN summit or gay and lesbian rights summit, and you put your name, your son, then it means that we have no other option but to accept it. Matter of fact, they don't even go and explain this thing to our people. They have no regard for our people anyway. So because this kind of a thing, before you sign it on behalf of a country, you have to get some kind of a public forum and education, and get the people to be informed that we're going to sign it. But no, somebody can just come to Liberia, foreign minister, deputy foreign minister, president, and just come and sign to a treaty when in fact the people back home have no idea as to what he ended up signing, and they could care less about giving you update. It just a total disrespect. But that's it. That's Liberia for you. So.
Well, Mark, you are right, 100%. The people that will vote for, like one of our followers once upon a time said that the people, they have no respect for the people that gave them the power, and we stay swimming into some of these things, because from 1986 up to now, we are still into the PRC system, and that's just the system. Nobody can easily convince me. For nearly 40 years now, all of my research, all of my observation, we are still swimming and downing and whining into the PRC system. But Mark, let me bring you maybe a few daily news. Then maybe then you have your own take. Then then we'll talk about the latest news. From there, then we'll move on. Yeah. So Front Page Africa, Mark is reporting that inches away from war. I don't know why you saw that, and what's your own interpretation for that?
Well, I saw that article, but I didn't read it. I never got the feel of it to know exactly what they're trying to say. But I think they're talking about this strained relationship between Lur and looking at the history coming from war with Lur and this guy that got missing
prior
from
to arrest of Guinea accused of coup plot. Liberia and Guinea
were inches away from war. Yep. But maybe we will cover that tomorrow in detail, because it's a little lengthy article. I just came through the top part of it. I never had time. I was running, coming back here, and I didn't go in detail. But I think it's more about the historical nature and this particular issue of this guy subsequently being led out of prison. They're talking about some private jet that came with some commandos from Guinea, and they're trying to put the pieces together as to the Lur rebel and the incursion between Liberia and Guinea. So it's a national security issue, and I've been calling on chairmanability. I don't know whether you have some time to come and elaborate more, because this thing is deeper than you think it is. And the former Associate Justice, I think they filed for how they call it, habeas corpus, or to bring the living body of someone to
Yes,
court, and they were
72 hours, right?
72 hours ultimatum. I don't know when that expires, if it will be today or tomorrow. So we'll be looking up to the courts and see the other further action the defense Anthony will be taking on behalf of a client. But he said he holding Joseph Boga government in contempt when it comes to the turning over, and they got some, even not only international treaties when it comes to managing or taking care of prisoners. I think there are some ECOWAS statutes and law too that when it comes to people, you cannot get extradite people to another country. And the article talk about it, but like I said, I didn't go through the entire article because I thought it was too, I was driving and I didn't want to stay on the phone, so I had to put my phone away.
Yes.
So hopefully
So that
tomorrow
move
we'll
on
go
now
in there.
to the newspaper, also reporting that ARBS workers alarm hostile leadership. I don't know, I guess you've been following Eugene Facom, who's the head, and that of the deputies or whosoever. There have been so many rock and roll, yes, and there's this video that you also share where the ARBS boss were talking about some
Oh
of
yeah,
some of the employees when their family member die, they have been given 500 USD. In fact, that's the biggest around the
yeah.
world. So
He's
what
the
the
only.
mm,
I didn't follow the origin of that story. I just thought the video was kind of interesting when I saw it from Eugene Fagon, that his institution is the only institution on the planet in the whole world that can
now
give a bereavement package of $500. I found that to be very funny. That's why I share it. But the entire detail, look, Melbourne, the drama is too much in the country that you cannot even keep track of it. Whether it's the LU student, whether it's Eugene Fagon, whether it's from the commerce ministry, whether it's the education ministry, Nicotech, like you can keep track of anything happening in the country. So it's very, very hard to really I mean, there are only 24 hours in the day. Maybe we can only try our best to pinpoint some of these
so the
important
last
stories,
one,
but we
so
can
let me
cover
just
all
bring
of them.
you the last one also from the newspaper from the back. I think that's their front page. It's a crackdown on truth telling. The assistant minister forced to resign for exposing fake scholarship scholarship. What's your take on that? Crack down on truth telling. Sometimes when you are, or in fact when you want to be tough, they got to get you out, monk.
Yeah, the issue with the Nicotech and the education ministry concerning that the link that was taken down, and we covered that in detail already on Sktv. We did our research. Sktv, we when they say doing deep research, deep dive, we always try our best to do our due diligence when it comes to informing the public and our audiences. Yeah, but I don't know how far it might extend in terms of punishment, or now he resigned, right? It was a resignation, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes,
But
indeed.
at least we told our people who are trying to aspire to say they want to advance their education in Liberia, that want to take advantage of opportunity, is not an opportunity from our own investigative reporting. It is a big time scam. It got flashing lights that anyone can see. We read the terms and conditions here. We just keep telling our people that, you know what, you can still make that choice if you want, but we know it is a big time scam. We will not tell you to take that risk, because to make living in Liberia is already tough. You have limited resources, and even the requirement, even the people policy and their terms and conditions, it's just so many in there for you to that raises eyebrow, and we won't be advising our people to take advantage of that, because it's not an opportunity for mounting. That's what the lady said. This is now a hand out, it's a hand up. If you understand that code, then it's up to you. But as far as Sktv is concerned, we did our best. We're able to get more information, and now it's up to you. We can force you to make decision, but at least we give you all the information that you needed in order to make an informed decision. So it's up to you. That's the most we can do.
Wonderful. So, Mark, so now that move on now to the news of the day and the latest news. So, this video, I want for us to be playing some of these things, or to be showing these things to our people.
Yeah, show it. Apparently for the women
Yes.
speaker, you want to
Wonderful.
show that.
No, I want to start with the soup, the student protest on
Oh
today.
yeah.
Take step by step. Then we go. So let's start with this one. To our follower, those of you who follow us, this is the video also coming from the protest. Well, I think this video is a little bit short. So let me see more. Yes, indeed, I think this one would be the reference video. Sorry, let me remove this video and be able to play this one. Yeah, so Mark, I know you've been following the happening at the state-run university, where every time, Mark, that's why I keep saying we stay in the PRC time, because all of this thing been happening during the PRC time. It's
Yeah,
still happening, Mark.
nothing new yet. It's still happening. Student protests, early riots. This thing will keep happening for the longer. But keep showing the video. Let me set up here. I'm still trying to set up here. Especially the one from the speaker. Maybe you want to delve into that too. Then I will be done by the time you are.
Yes, so let me play the soup video first. I'll try to play maybe, yeah. While you're doing your setup, yes. All right. Thank you, Mark. Let me see. This is the video. All right. I think this is the main video. So we're going to get this video. And yes. So every time your children, your brothers, and your sisters, they always be seen as protesters. Even people have to protest before going to school. That's the kind of country we live in. We talk, they say, yeah, you probably the government.
Just a prelude, yo, viva. No peace, yo. Reactionary tendency. Down, refusing to open the school, down. Forward, the revolutionary vanguard unification party, forward. Mr. Banker did it just a prelude, yo. Viva. The vanguard party stay around, viva. Through mouth. Open our school and face the wrath of the vanguard party, through mouth. Yo. Mr. Banker found out the EA's purported arrest agenda, yo. Comrades and friends, come here. These commissarios, commandantes and commandos, men and women of consciousness, intellectual paragons, media practitioners, students of the state-run university, the University of Liberia, UL, students who hail from the urban slums and rural localities, the board masses relegated to the lower income strata. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a privilege to address the media at this time. I'm going to be very much laconic because I will not obfuscate. A few hours ago, we witnessed the brutalization and killing of militants of the Vanguard Student Unification Party by the apartheid police officer of Joseph Human Boaka. National Tennessee! Ome Boaka! Foreign battery! Yo! We can't free my SG, I'll come for you, yo! We can't free my SG, let me say this, yeah. Before history and before everyone, the SG has been arrested in other commerce. We have also been informed that our comrade James Colley has also been executed by the apartheid police of Joseph Human Burger. Comrades, today reminds us of the struggle in South Africa during the Bantu educational policy when Seshi Mashilini organized his comrades on June 16, 1976 to oppose the Bantu educational policy on the apartheid regime. Yo! Under the banners of the July 26 movement in Cuba. Yo! Freedom, come on, get ready. So incarcerated 2023 in the budget. Central here we come, Zayo. And so today, commerce, for the action of the Boga regime, I can now say to you, the so-called or the self-proclaimed rescue mission has
Hey, boy, are you there? Hello? Something's not right. Can you hear me, folks? I think Mayborn is off. uh, can you guys hear me? All right. All right, that's great. Carmen Jensen, Sheikh Kaliko. All right. Yeah, I think we can take on from here on the Melbourne get back. So I don't know. Everything in Liberia when it comes to the university is the whole apartheid. I don't know whether we are in South Africa. I really don't get it. For me, I never went to the university in Liberia, so I have no idea how they operate over there, how they do business. And I didn't follow up the story from the onset as to who I heard him saying someone was executed by Joseph Parker police. I don't know about that. I'm just hearing it from that video. So we will get into other stories. I don't know much about what's happening on the campus of the University of Liberia. I think Mayborn is more informed about that as opposed to me here. And that way, if Mayborn can get by in a couple of seconds, then we'll take it from here. Well, I was just looking at the ECOWAS mediation team report and the letter coming from the executive concerning the draft budget for 2025. Those are the stories that caught my attention. So if we can get Mayborn here, then we'll just take it from there. Yeah, they are protesting for taxes and rights. Okay, from Sandy Anderson, I didn't know that. I saw police in the riot gear this morning again, so I was confused. I even called Mayborn just to get an update. Yeah, from Mayborn. Baga, Cyber General, and I catch Mayborn. Yeah, I know, right? Mayborn, what's going on? You always been running into some technical difficulty these few days. What's happening, bro? Or you got too many widgets and gadgets on your decks? Yeah. Well, with the budget now, the one thing that I know with the budget surfacing, the draft budget so far, it's just going to put the whole thing of the speakership to a test again, like we keep saying on Sktv, because I know the executive, they are not going to hold on their agenda, the rescue agenda. That's what I know. So I don't know how far this thing can continue or how far it will continue to go when it comes to finding to ending the stalemate. And according to the local dailies in Liberia, they are already saying that the ECOWAS effort to bring about some kind of a resolution has failed already. So I'm not counting on that. Apparently, what we predicted on Sktv will be the official outcome, that the Liberian people themselves will be able to solve this problem. I don't think there will be any outside mediator or some kind of a mediation team that will come here to find a solution in this impasse. So I wasn't counting on them because they came up with some resolution. They came up with some ideas, and they both sides cooling. They came up with some six point talking point in their so-called mediation. And let me see if I get it here. Yes, I will read it to the audience here. They lay some preconditions. They say the officials complaint against the speaker will be dispatched to the office of the honorable speaker with immediate effect by the majority member. That's condition one. Condition two said the honorable speaker shall respond to complaint in writing, recusing himself from the presiding over the house during the period of the investigation. The member of the 55th legislature shall resume plenary sittings in the main chambers of the House of Representatives. That condition number 3. The deputy speaker shall preside over plenary during the period of the investigation into the charges against the speaker. The duration of the investigation shall not exceed 2 weeks. That's the condition number 5. And number 6 says the security and safety of the members of the House shall be assured by both parties in order to maintain a decorum. So I think you get the case concerning this whole thing. My thing is, when I saw those 6 preconditions by the ECOWAS and how they couldn't come up with to break this impasse or this stalemate, there were a few questions that came to mind. Because one thing I've been saying, based on their own rules, the thing is, if those other guys can sit in the in the chambers under the gavel of the speaker, then automatically the speaker has regained his speakership. So the fact of the matter is, if he will respond to their order in writing about recusing himself, that's one condition of the 6. And I don't know if the speaker is willing to do that, because from the little video I saw this morning, or more like he stayed in a defiant mode that he's going to set a precedent, it won't happen, and he's not going to resign. But I didn't hear him talking about recusing himself either. So maybe it was one of those preconditions that he never accepted, or he's not going to honor. Maybe that could be the primary reason as to why they couldn't come up with a resolution on this particular subject matter. And looking at the other 5, I think the condition number 4 was the most important one, that the deputy speaker shall preside over plenary. Now, the reason number 4 is more important to me. I remember when the majority black saying that for the fact that they can call for a quorum and they have more than enough number for a simple majority, automatically they become the plenary. So technically, I don't know, from the ECOWAS proposal from the mediation team, are they suggesting that the speaker now, the majority black is the plenary? Because if you're saying that the deputy speaker shall preside over the plenary during the period of the investigation into the charges against the speaker, then you are literally telling me that automatically the majority black is this plenary. And that's what they themselves suggested from the initial stage of this argument, that they are the plenary for the fact that they got more than enough above a simple majority. That's one. So if ECOWAS is saying that of Thomas Fala should preside over plenary, then it means, I don't even know how to say it. It's almost like you are reaffirming what those guys said from the initial stage, because even if the speaker recuses himself and an investigation is launched against him, he cannot be the one that will be speaker. So automatically the deputy speaker will be the one in charge, and then the majority black will be acting as plenary. That's my understanding. Because if the speaker cannot say the plenary now lies within his blood. No, I don't think so, because he cannot even call for a quorum, so it's automatically out the window. So my thing here is, from this ECOWAS 6-point or peace, I don't know, we call it mediation or peace plan, from my own understanding, it's almost like they are reaffirming things that the majority black have been saying for a very long time. Because these 6 preconditions, I think, a favorable more to the majority black as opposed to the minority black, from my understanding. Because whether it's number 1, number 4, that the deputy speaker should preside over the plenary during the period of the investigation, and the duration, the security. Okay, number 2 say the honorable speaker shall respond to the complaint in writing, recusing himself. So now they are calling for a recusal. But listening to Fonati Kofa this morning, I didn't hear anything about him when it comes to recusal. So it means this fight continues with no end in sight. I think the kind of a signal that the executive is getting from these 2 blocks, maybe that's what triggered the whole draft budget being sent to from my understanding, I think it's been sent to the chief clerk. And I think the chief clerk is also leaning in the direction of the majority black. So we don't know. But the executive will be hearing from the finance minister. But the letter we got here, the little note that I saw here, it said, I will read it for the audience so they have an understanding as to what I'm saying here. Mr. Manlo, I'll call you back. I guess I saw your call coming, but I couldn't take your call. This is why it says that President Joseph Boaga presents the fiscal year 2025 draft national budget to the national legislature. It's a Capitol Hill, Monrovia, on November 18. His Excellency Joseph Nyima Boaga Sr. earlier today presented a fiscal year 2025 draft national budget to the national legislature in the amount of $851.8 million, comprising core revenue of $833 million and contingent revenue of 18.8 billion to the presiding officer of the House of Representatives through the chief clerk. The draft national budget of 2025 represents 15% increase over 2024 recast budget, totaling 738. So it means this year budget will be bigger than the package from last year, or 2024. I mean this year, it increased by 15.3%. The draft national budget captures appropriations aimed at delivering on key priorities of the arrest agenda for inclusive development, as well as addressing debt services and other obligations of the government. President Bouaga has urged the lawmaker to exert their best effort toward ensuring timely consideration and approval of the budget to ensure effective and efficient execution of the budget beginning January 2025. We are less than 2 months away. The submission of the national budget is in compliance with Section 17.1 of the 2019 Amendment and Restatement of the Public Financial Management Act of 2009. Meanwhile, the Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Honorable Augustine Kwehe Gafuan, will address the Ministry of Information, Culture, and Tourism regular press briefing on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, November 19, at 12 noon, to provide detailed information on the draft budget to the public. The media is invited and shall be seated at 11 o'clock. So I think you got it. The executive already played her part. They followed the law. They submitted the draft budget to the chief clerk. Now it's up to the chief clerk now, based on which way the chief clerk is leaning. But I know for sure, from my common sense and from my layman understanding, this thing will go to the majority black, because they are not going to put their agenda on hold. And the majority black will be the only group, I think, that can conduct business according to the very constitution and their own standing orders and rule, like I said from the beginning. And the thing about the budget, you don't need a two-third majority to pass the budget. A simple majority can pass the budget. And as far as we are concerned, the majority black do have the number to pass that budget. So this thing here, it will go a long way. I don't know how soon it might come to an end, whether there will be other intervention or the speaker will say he want to go to the full bench. But I'm looking at this thing from an operational standpoint, from their own political standpoint, from the rules and order. I know that there is more leverage that is being given to this majority black as opposed to fanatic Kofa black. And that's why the executive, like I said, I think the executive is trying to maintain her neutrality. So they will say they are not taking side, but from all indications, I think the majority black has been strengthened, even by virtue of the so-called precondition from the ECOWAS mediation team. I think still the speaker will have to recuse himself for the investigation to go on, or they are going to table his removal and move on to other matters. The question is, who will have the legitimacy to do the Liberian people business? And I know, like I keep saying from day one, I'm not going to change my position. I think the majority black in this case, that is, if both sides remain defined, if there is no compromise, then most likely the majority black will be the one doing business. That's what I know for sure. And it seems like we are on track to see that come into fruition already. So that's my understanding. But if anybody or someone else out there, the constitutional scholar or people that know more about the law, they can have their own opinion. I'm just saying it and calling it for where it is. And it seems like we are going in that direction. Mr. Marlo, you're trying to call me, you know. We don't take call early, but I think for the benefit of the doubt, I will call you back. And I don't know if you got something to say, because we got other topic here. The budget, the most important thing here, and we cover the 72-hour ultimatum from former Associate Justice Janet. So since we are here waiting for Mabel, I will give you the call and then you can chime in. And hello? Mr. Marlo?
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, we don't take call this early, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, because people money to lose itself, or they spy their money to get it off. That's why I call early.
Yeah, but call. I mean, you can chime in. Go ahead.
Yeah, but listen, even the president trying to be illegal, right?
Mm-hmm.
The president said he will send the budget to the presiding officer.
Okay.
Who is the presiding officer of the national legislature?
At the same right now, I would say the clerk.
No, The clerk is never being a presiding officer. The presiding officer of the House of Representatives is the speaker.
Okay. Yeah.
The man remains the speaker. And if they got to have a case against him, he will recuse himself from being the presiding for the deputy to preside in his stead until that case is settled.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
That's what he would do, but that doesn't take the speakership from him.
No.
He just recuses himself so that the deputy. Now, where I think the confusion will come on, even if you want to be technically legal, has already joined these other people, so he cannot fairly preside. So that is going to be a sticky problem if they want to be very, very technical, because he ain't got no business. He should have stayed neutral and say, I will be the neutral arbiter. But because you went and joined these people and presiding in their so-called meetings, that means you're part of them. And so you can't trust him to be fair. But today in Ponanti's press conference, he said, I'm willing to recuse myself. Let him win the case, I will recuse myself. But I want this thing to be public. Let the investigation be public. Let everybody be there when we do the investigation.
But here's the thing. If that is the case, if that is the case, right? If the speaker is open to recusal, if he's going to recuse himself, then he must do it before they can even come to the chambers.
No. You got to present your case in plenary, and there is no plenary if the speaker is not present.
But the people in the majority block are saying that they are the plenary already, because
they can say what they may, but there's nothing that happening. What makes them a plenary? What makes them legislator?
Because
the Constitution.
Yeah. Okay.
The Constitution says, wait, Mom. The Constitution says there is no guardian above the speaker in the House of Representatives. Okay. When you choose that man to make him speaker, you choose a superior officer. So you will all abide by the law, which makes him the superior officer and the presiding. Not even Thomas Fowler can preside unless he says Thomas Fowler can preside. So all the other things they're talking about noise. Because if you got to move the speaker, even in America, you made a mistake to say that they move a speaker.
No, I said most of the time, yeah, the
speaker in America.
The speaker always
resign. They resign, but they never were able to remove them.
Okay, yeah,
you want to compare the issue with Clinton and Trump. You see, they try to be political and they refuse to resign. When they went to the investigation, they couldn't find the truth there to move them. They remained. That's the thing that the majority is afraid of. Because even in our Constitution, they say the minority must force the majority to come back. So that means you can't go because you play there and you say we're going to have a meeting. But no call. The speaker is not there.
We'll get in details about that. Melbourne is back, so we'll take it from here. I just wanted to hear from you because
invite a constitutional lawyer if they got any in Liberia to come and settle this thing one for all. Sktv, because listen to Kabila Janet and he was very clear. So I want to invite a constitutional lawyer on Sktv.
Yeah,
I'm sure there is one somewhere.
One somewhere, yeah. A constitutional professor to come here. Indeed, thank you, Mr. Malo.
Yeah, so Mark, so let me say thanks to you. I do agree with him, but again, there will be this question. Even if the legal counsel or even if the lawyer come here on this platform, people will say that's his view. Even though,
it's still his opinion, right?
Until someone will say, until you go to
the full bench of the Supreme Court to interpret. Because everybody will be chiming in with their own view and understanding. That's my thing. Wonderful. And that's why I know. That's why I'm telling you, I'm taking a bet. And Mr. Malo, he said it right. He corrected me that even though that the same point I was alluding to, but I didn't say it right, that the speakers here, they usually resign. Because the same thing is happening in Liberia, it also happened here. And you cannot tell me that it was based on constitutional reason. No, I didn't see anyone invoking the Constitution here. When it's a political matter, that's why the Supreme Court never even honor the rate of prohibition, because they believe that they should settle it among themselves. That's a whole different thing. But when you get to the constitutional crisis aspect, where the Supreme Court will come to interpret, then we will get to know where the country stands. Until then, we still have hope, even though the impasse persists, but we still have the hope that they will come to some kind of a resolution. If they cannot come to a resolution, because even the ECOWAS mediation team said it shouldn't last more than 2 weeks. But the question is, you cannot put a time limit on something like this, because you don't know what happens if it drags onto 3 weeks or onto a month. So technically, what ECOWAS is saying, this is our understanding of this particular impasse, but it's still up to you guys. Just make sure you work within the framework of your own standing rules and order in the Constitution. The ECOWAS mediation team getting mentioned Constitution, because they know there's a constitutional aspect and there's a political aspect. They say your rules and order, including the Constitution. So that 3 different scenarios right there. But the idea that you can put a time frame on this thing to say, oh, it can only last for up to 2 weeks, I'm not buying into that, and I'm not sure they can meet that requirement or those requirements. That's why maybe the negotiation failed anyway, because they couldn't come up with a conclusion. It's still open-ended. The question is, who is going to give in first? And it doesn't seem like Fanatikova is showing any inclination that he's going to be resigning anytime soon. No. And I know the majority of black people are now willing to cave in. So my argument here is, if this thing if we cannot get any lead indicator, or we cannot get any sign that this thing will come to an end, the executive will not sit back idly and just because the budget is everything, Melbourne. The entire country depends on the budget. And that's why I keep saying, that's why I keep saying, at the end of the day, the Liberian people, maybe for the first time, they will settle their own matter. I don't know how they will do it, but it will be squarely on the shoulders of us Liberians to find a solution to this impasse or to this stalemate, because we cannot keep going on like this.
Yes. So indeed, Mark, let me say many thanks to you, even though you are live on the radio while we're trying to do maybe to set up our system. You are also live on the radio. So again, you were reading the latest news, especially with the budget and so forth, and Liberian listen to you and so on. But for me, I have so many questions to ask you, even though you were also talking about the presiding officers and so forth, who that person going to turn the budget over to, because mind you, so I'll be asking you which way maybe the budget go, whether the presiding officer will be in the wrong or not. This is a question I will be asking. Because
this is how I came with my own conclusion on the subject matter. I'm not looking at the constitutional aspect. When we get to the constitutional aspect, but he removed the Supreme Court, we're going to interpret that. I'm just looking at the day-to-day operation of the government, the rules and standing order of the House, right? When the executive sends, this is how I came up with my conclusion on this whole subject matter. That's why I keep telling you, at the end of the day, it doesn't look well. It doesn't bode well for the speaker, right? Because I give instances from even the U.S. and how speakers can resign from here. What I said, looking at the way the thing is going, right? Because it's almost like a test of the executive to see which way the executive themselves going to lean. And it says that the executive still want to play the neutrality role. They don't want to pick a side, even though they have a side, but they are not showing to the public that they are taking a side. I know they do have a side.
Today, yes, indeed. From our observation today, especially coming from their budget, that alone speaks for them that they want to play that role. And you're correct, because they are saying that, okay, everything is in the hand of the chief clerk, now the chief clerk and now the presiding officer. So chief clerk, you would not tell us who is the presiding officer.
Maybe from the inception of this whole impasse here, for me, you know, when you get something complicated, you got to lay a premise first. It's based on the premise that you will lay before you can be able to project into the future or to make analysis. The first thing I said, I'm not looking at the thing from the constitutional aspect. The constitutional aspect will be there at the law. Everybody quoting the constitution, we cannot change it, right? You need 49 to remove the speaker. I'm looking at it, like I keep saying, from an operational standpoint and how the House does their own business, how they conduct business in the House. That's why I told you from the beginning. When the executive send the budget to the legislature, they send the budget to the plenary. The budget is intended for plenary, right? But there are two individuals that could receive the budget on behalf of the House. that the speaker and the chief clerk, when they send the budget to the house, the budget is not intended for this.
Yeah, sorry, we gotta go for the news. I don't know if
Okay.
you want to hold on or you
Yeah,
want to
we
jump
can.
out for the news.
Just show all the news. I mean, we can take a break and then we can listen to the
Yes,
the
so
news bulletin as
indeed,
well.
yes, indeed. So just keep talking while I try now to do the setup
All
for the
right.
news bulletin. Yeah, please.
So, like I was saying, it's very simple. When the executive send the budget to the house, it's not intended for the speaker or the chief clerk. They are just two individuals that will receive it on behalf of the body. The executive send the budget to plenary. The people that are in the majority black are saying, for the fact that we have more than enough number to conduct a quorum, automatically we become the plenary. And the passage of the budget requires just a simple majority, not to tear. The two-tier, I think what happened, I thought that even called me earlier today to even say, remind me about that particular provision. The two-tier is only required for the removal of the speaker, but not for the passage of the budget. So for the fact that they got a simple majority, they can table the speaker's removal and say, you know what, we got other urgent matter to attend to, we got to deal with the budget, and they automatically become the plenary to pass the budget. That's what I'm saying. So what the executive is doing now, you know what? Why not send the budget over to the chief clerk, and then the chief clerk will decide which way to take it? And I can bet you that the chief clerk will take it to the majority block. That's all I've been saying forever. If we take the idea of the speakership, if you are going to put a lot of stumbling block before the speaker and scrape all his powers away from him, yeah, he's speaker on paper by virtue of the constitution, but the day-to-day activity of the house, no. That's why they're saying you should recuse yourself. If you cannot recuse yourself, then we will keep doing business, because I know to conduct business, you got to first trigger a quorum to do the Liberian people business. And unfortunately, the speaker is not in the position to do that. So who you think the executive is going to go to in order to do business? They will go to the majority black. No matter how you can say that, no matter which twist you can put on it, you can quote all the constitutional provision. At the end of the day-to-day activity that is needed to get the job done, it lies with the majority. You can call it unlawful. Okay, yeah, they are unlawful, but at the end of the day, who is in the perfect position to conduct business for the house? It can only be the majority block. Whether they remove the speaker or not, matter of fact, they can pass the budget without a speaker removal. And even if they call for an investigation and the speaker recuses himself, at that point in time, during the investigation, he stayed as the speaker. I don't want to equip the budget with that of the removal, but at the end of the day, the executive, I know I can take a bet 100% that the executive will not sit down and allow the budget or the entire country to be held hostage just because they want to be on one side or the other. No, I don't think that's going to happen. And at the end, we will get a solution. And that solution, like I said, if it trigger to a constitutional crisis, the Liberian people themselves and the Supreme Court will kind of interpret the law, and the Liberian people themselves will be the one to solve this matter. But until then, I will tell you, I'm not in favor of abusing the constitution. I respect the right of the speaker. He's the one that is in charge according to the constitution. But at the end of the day, for business to continue, they will find a way to make sure, because everybody, even the Supreme Court that you are depending on to interpret the very same constitution, their day-to-day livelihood lies within that budget. So I don't know whether the judiciary and the executive will sit down there just because of fanatic Kofa to say we are not going to get a budget part. I don't think that's going to happen. They will do work, or they will work with the people who they believe can pass this budget to make sure the arrest agenda is on track. They are not going to sabotage themselves because they want to work with fanatic Kofa. I don't think that's what's going to happen. And gradually, we are getting there, and it seems like we are getting much closer. The budget might maybe be the instrument that will expedite this process so we can come up with a solution or some kind of a resolution. But at the end of the day, I will bet my money that the executive will not go with the speaker block. And even if they go with the majority block, I don't think that would be a flagrant disregard for the constitution as well. It's just the operation of business in the house and to get the country going. So you can say, oh, if Joseph Baga does business with the majority black, oh, he violated the constitution. No, that's not true. I don't think he will be in error of the constitution. I don't think it will be a flagrant violation of the constitution. The executive will always find way to do business to get their budget, because without the budget, the executive is literally dead, including almost everyone that's attached to that national budget. So the whole idea that because Fanatic Kofa, we're going to hold the entire country hostage, I don't think that's going to happen. And she said it right. The executive got more leverage to even say get more extra incentive from the budget. So why would you think they will want to hold this budget just because they want to make sure Fanatic Kofa maintain his speakership? No, I'm not going to bet on that. If that's happening, God bless the state. We want for the country to keep going and keep working. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to hang my hat on the Fanatic Kofa survival or maintaining his speakership. The executive will find a way to get this thing going. And that's why they are telling us already. Because if they can send an official communication to the chief clerk, and we all know the chief clerk is already leaning in the direction of the majority black. It's not like the chief clerk is with Fanatic Kofa. If the chief clerk was with Fanatic Kofa or Fanatic Kofa even had that simple majority to conduct a quorum, but now the thing would have been a whole different ballgame. But for the fact that he cannot meet those two basic requirements, then no, the speakership is only on paper, it's only in name. In terms of the day-to-day activity, no, I don't consider him to be speaker at this stage. That's why they are hoping that he can resign, or if he keep playing the role of I will keep standing under the last president, then so be it, because it's not anytime soon. And I don't know. That's where we are right now. So, folks, you get what you get, and there is no way out. I don't know what happened to Mabel and the team about setting up for the news bulletin. So we will keep hanging in there until we can get them back on. But that's where we're staying right now. Yeah, I will soon be getting some feedback from Melbourne here. No, Benjamin, it does not mean that the speaker is going to lose his right as speaker. It just means that during the course of the investigation, he cannot be presiding as speaker because they are bringing charges against him. So he cannot be the one investigating himself. That's when the deputy speaker will take charge. And the deputy speaker is already with the same minority bloc. So Mr. Marlowe just brought something very important. So it means they can also make the case for conflict of interest, because if the deputy speaker was neutral, then it's a whole different thing. But in the case of Thomas Fala, he's already with the with the majority
provisions that govern the election and removal of a speaker. He emphasized that according to both the Constitution and the standing rules of the House, a minimum of 37 members is required to elect a speaker, while 49 members must be present to remove a speaker. Speaker Kofa expressed his determination, stating anything other than what the Constitution says. He is not going to resign due to the negative perception of any so-called majority bloc. He expressed his unwavering stance, reflecting a commitment to adherence to legal principles and the procedural guidelines established for the governance of the House, stating the law is the law. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has welcomed a high-level African Union delegation to Liberia. The delegation that arrived on Monday is in country to engage in collaborative efforts aimed at mitigating the impact of climate change in Liberia. The visit of the AU delegation headed by Anan Nambi, according to a foreign ministry release, marks a significant step towards strengthening cooperation between Liberia and the African Union on pressing environmental issues affecting the country. During the meeting with the foreign ministry, the acting Minister of Foreign Affairs, Gabriel Seli, underscored the urgency of addressing climate change, which he said has exacerbated natural disasters in Liberia, leading to increased flooding, soil erosion, and unpredictable weather that have affected agriculture and livelihoods. Anna Nambi, who is leading the AU delegation, emphasized that addressing climate change requires collective approach with stakeholders, government, private sectors, and civil society organizations all working together to develop sustainable solutions. She reiterated the African Union commitment to support Liberia in its climate change initiatives. As part of the delegation's visit, Anna Nambi and her team will engage with key government ministries, civil society organizations, and local communities to gather insights and assess the ongoing climate adaptation project in the country. The African Union delegation visit to Liberia demonstrates regional solidarity and shared responsibility in addressing the global climate crisis. You are listening to a bulletin of news from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. We broadcast from Duporo in Pinzo outside the nation's capital, Monrovia. In more news, the economic freedom fighters of Liberia has, with immediate effect, urged two of its executive members to resign their positions in the party. EFFL Commander-in-Chief Emmanuel Gonkwe said their decision is intended to respect the code of conduct for public officials. The two officials are the national chairman, currently serving as Deputy Minister for Manpower at the Ministry of Labor, and the Deputy Managing Director for Administration at the National Housing Authority. Gonkwe believes that once EFFL condemned the violation of the code of conduct under the former administration of the CC, they as party need to respect the law. He spoke Monday in Monrovia. Center for National Documents and Records Agency Technical Coordinator William Johnson has departed Liberia for further studies in India under the Director General Nelson Bianga. He will be enrolled at a PJ Style University for a 2-year intense Masters of Business Administration program in Gurugram, Delhi, India. CNDRA Director General Nelson Bianga disclosed in a statement on Monday before Johnson's departure that the goal of the Advanced Studies program is to increase the National Archives of Liberia's resource capacity with specialized training for its staff. He said building capacity is an important component of the overall development strategy to reposition the Center for National Documents and Records Agency. DG Bianga asserted that increasing human resource capacity is essential for the National Archives of Liberia's short, medium, and long-term vision. He also revealed that the agency is planning to send more staff members abroad for short-term courses in archive science, records management, preservation, and other archival-related subjects early next year. William Johnson, on his part, praised Director General Bianga and the Deputy for Administration Gabriel Doma for providing all the needed support towards his scholarly endeavors in India. He then pledged to maintain his concentration throughout the studies and to make the administration of the Center for National Documents and Records Agency proud. Out of Liberia, an overwhelming majority of Gabonese people have voted for a new constitution, military authorities say, in a move that marks a new phase for the country following last year's coup. Provisional results showed 92% of voters backed the new constitution, according to the country's electoral body. The outcome sets the stage for a transition to civilian rule, although critics say it is designed to allow coup leader Brice Oligui Nguema to remain in power. Nguema is yet to openly say whether he will run in the election. Voter turnout was estimated at 54%, according to the Committee for the Transition and Restoration of Institutions. There were no serious incidents reported during Saturday's vote, according to the BBC. The final results will be announced by the Constitutional Court. As he voted, the military leader hailed the referendum as a great step forward, adding that Gabonese were coming to vote in a transparent fashion. Prior to the vote, the transitional authorities described it as a crucial step towards the return to constitutional order in the oil-rich country. The referendum paves the way for the holding of elections, tentatively scheduled for August next year, 2 years after Nguema took power to topple President Ali Bongo Ondimba, whose family had ruled the country for decades. The draft constitution establishes a 7-year term, renewable once, replacing a 5-year term that had no limits and which allowed for dynastic rule. It also bars members of the president's family from running for the country's top job and also requires candidates to be exclusively Gabonese and have a Gabonese spouse. To end this news bulletin, a recap of the headlines. President Joseph Boakai submits the draft 2025 fiscal budget to the legislature in the sum of 851.5 $1.8 million United States dollars. Well, report says an unconfirmed report has it that the draft budget was submitted to the acting chief clerk, Komechie, who has reportedly submitted that to the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Farah. In Baton House, Speaker Fanati Kofa says he will not bow to intimidation by those he called the so-called majority bloc to resign. Instead, he would ensure that the law takes its course. Government of Liberia receives a high-level African Union delegation to discuss issues about the impact of climate change in Liberia. And out of Liberia, an overwhelming majority of Gabonese people have voted for a new constitution, military authorities say, in a move that marks a new phase for the country following last year's coup, according to the BBC. That's RCR News Bulletin at 7. My name is Maka Davis.
And so you just listening to news bulletin right here on Truth FM 96.1. The opportunity is here to join the station at 8 o'clock, at which time we'll bring you 45 minutes of news coming from our newsroom, Truth FM 96.1. So many thanks to all of you for your listening. Many thanks to all of our viewers, listeners. Indeed, today is Monday, having to be the 18th of November, and so many things happening. Thanks to Mark, who be holding on. And yes, so again, if you just coming our way, this is the Sktv show. For matter of fact, we are here to inform you on all of the happening of the day. And so you just listen to the news bulletin. So many things, though. So finally, the government of the Republic of Liberia has finally submitted the 2025 national budget to the national legislature through the Deputy Chief Clerk, who office active. And if you just follow our news, that then confirmed that the Deputy Chief Clerk, according to information, has submitted the budget to the Deputy Speaker. So it's like from Deputy to Deputy. Well, anyway, Mark will be joining us very soon. Mark is also going to break, I think it's water break, but Mark will be joining us. So we get the information that the Deputy Chief Clerk has submitted the national budget, or the 2025 national budget, to the Deputy Speaker, who also part of the majority of bloc. So that's the news we are getting. But again, that's the life we all live here in Liberia, and that's the kind of people we are as to what's going on, especially when it comes to the rule of law, where we as people. So many reactions. I know some of us who in our little corner, we have our own way of interpreting things. Mind you, that's why, I know sometimes people will say, oh, I go to school, I've been in school for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years into this and that. I agree with you. Some of you are lawyers and so forth. But again, mind you, something they call common sense, right? That one, it's not about school. Common sense is not about school. No matter how educated you are, there are some of us who don't even have common sense. And that's the truth. We lack of understanding. We don't even know where we're going. We don't even know what we're into. And even there are some things that we do that even the animals in the forest, they don't do. I want to like grabbing something, some of us, or some of you. So that's just common sense. So it's not about how educated you are, how many degrees, how many master degrees, how many PhD you have. No. There are people who are PhD, who have all of the degrees, but there are things that they do that animals that in the forest they don't do. So the budget have been submitted, and we moved as to what's going to happen next, because according to our news, that the budget has been submitted to the deputy chief clerk, and the deputy chief clerk, according to the information, has turned the budget over to Thomas Fala, who also part of the majority bloc. So we're going to see as to what's going to happen on tomorrow, moving forward, as to whether this thing going to come to an end or not. But for me on today, my entire attention has been drawn to this UL protest. I know we're going to activate the line. You call in. And Monk, when you're ready, just let me know. I don't know, but you say you're going to join us in a bit, but I don't know. Let me see. Monk, if you're ready. Monk, are you ready or you stay on your break? All right. So Monk, stay on a break, but I know he will join us later on. But again, that's just the fact. There are people who have one of the best of degrees, but they don't have common sense. So common sense, all of these things are happening right now. Take your own common sense and think. That's why we have to observe as to what goes. If you listen to our news, talk about foreign news, talk about Gabon, voting for a new constitution, but we stay into the PRC. Then we say we are edgy. You know, it just, yes, it's just so interesting. We are so educated, all of us, we are, in fact, don't imagine though, we are into a new world, an international world, a new world, everything changed, we move on, but in the state, we're still using 1986 constitution that allow people like Darius Dillon to go for 9 years, senators, representatives, president, going for 6 years, 9 years, we said here, we think all is well. Why would you give the lifetime, your life, 6 years of your life, you give it to someone and say, go ahead and enjoy all of my life? That's what we do, and that's what we're doing. We give all of our time. Every time you hear we protest, you know, sometimes I just feel like giving up on the entire, because this country, one of the best, well, not. It is indeed frustrating. These people that we call our leaders, they know exactly that these things affect them, even when they are no more into positions, right? That the security, the health, the road, electricity, the water, all these things. All these things have their own way of affecting you as a person, whether you empower or not. But they don't care. All they do is they get money. They have 5 passports. Some of them, they have diplomatic passports. They travel. You today, you are protesting. You hear every time. If you go and see the building, go and see the chairs. Those chairs that, you know. Oh, God. Mark, if you rather just let me know, at the age and time, you call yourself a university student, you're sitting on how good chair. And like putting anger more and more into yourself because there's no comfort. No comfort. You go to school with anger in you. Every time you go, you know, every time that you go to school, you see yourself like no way for you to even, you know, live a better life. Every time you see, even the building that you even go into, the building is so deplorable. It's bad off. But you go to school just because you want to get BSc. And that's the country we live in today. Today, we align all of the lawmakers. They are still getting their salaries, taking pay every month. Now, another new budget. Whether you like it or not, they're going to get the budget out. Look, I'm waiting on, or in fact, tomorrow, I'm waiting tomorrow to listen to the finance minister as to how much going to be there for not civil servants, people who are not even part of government. How am I going to, because mind you, every time when they do one development, it's for you and myself who are not part of government. But today, we praise the people. We sing in praises to them. Because why? We think that the only thing we can do for ourselves is to sing praises to these people who continue to make us to live in slavery in our own country. And you feel that as well. When we talk, someone you call, you say, baby, look, they did some of us with this, you will see our cars. But because we choose Liberia, let me tell some of you, some of us, we are proud of the kind of life that we are living today. Very, very proud. Even today, God take me away my life. Let me be free. I'm happy because why? At least I'm given the opportunity to also send out my message to all of you as people. Okay, Monk is back. Good. So Monk, welcome back. Yes, I will hold it on until you come back.
Oh yeah.
With some of these things.
Yeah, I was just listening to you elaborate on the issue. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same mindset. The idea that some cavalry got to come from outside. You heard the situation from the news bulletin about Gabon, right? 92% backing it. A constitutional reform. Yeah, we sit over there since 1822. You expecting ECOWAS, hold the international partners at their day. You waiting for American embassy. Then why you want to call yourself a country? Why you cannot just be recolonized? Why you can't just shut it down?
What kind of country is this?
Other countries deciding their own fate and taking their future and determining their own future direction. You sit over there. You think it should always be someone will always come and babysit you, and you are the oldest country in the world. So why are you practicing democracy? You don't understand what democracy is. They get petition, they get referendum. That's why I keep telling you. The situation happening in Liberia right now in the house, in other countries, they will resolve it in less than a week. But we cannot, because we think everybody sitting in the silent, political leaders sitting in the silent, advocate waiting in the silent, religious leader and civil society waiting in the silent. Everybody is always looking for some kind of a solution from somewhere else. That's our problem in Liberia. That's why when situation arises, people don't even know their own responsibility because they feel it's always someone else's responsibility to come and bring solution. That even people that you are paying astronomical sum of money every month to represent you, they are still waiting for someone to come mediate. For what? Then you don't have a country.
So more when you listen to even some of the protesters today, or in fact some of the I don't know, US students, if you hear somebody what patriot total, they don't look.
Yeah.
So you know all of these things.
Yep.
But you decide to close your eyes just because you want to continue into slavery.
Yeah.
Monk?
We saw, bro, we're in the sad state of affairs. And I don't know when that's going to end anytime soon. Like you keep saying, the whole budget issue. And not only the budget issue, we get talking about every situation that happens in Liberia, wherein people would see themselves being abused by authority, whether it's the government overstepping her bound. And people would just accept anything and everything in that country because they always believe that there will be someone, one individual or one entity that will come to advocate on behalf of the people. You seen it. We talk about the situation in Kenya. Now it's about Gabon. Countries don't wait for people to come and babysit them. They take charge. That's why the law said you are the one that gave the people authority. They only represent you. You are the bosses. They are the employee. But in Liberia, my brother, how often we have said it on the platform, our people think that they are the slave. And the people who should be in public office are their masters. That's the mentality. And the way how you think determine the way how you act. That's why every time they think somebody from outside, there got to be another Henry Costa or another Madame Sktv-Lib or somebody else who's supposed to come and take charge. No, they don't even understand their own power and responsibility. And that's why Mr. Maulo said it last time, and I'm in total agreement. What is the essence of practicing democracy when you don't even understand how democracy works? Why you want to practice it? Then shut the whole thing down. Because it just don't make sense. You're talking about budget. I'm telling you, we keep saying it here, and you said it right. They got some people who cannot exercise common sense. They got some people, we talk about the constitution, everybody want a society that operates based on law. We all know that. But there are instances where the law itself cannot go beyond the law that is on the book. That's what the Supreme Court said. We cannot interpret law that does not exist. Look, when you have a political matter, political issue happens all the time, outside of the Constitution. What is happening now? I will say it more than 1,000 times, and I will not change my position. The executive will work with the people who can conduct business on behalf of the country. And that's exactly what they will do, whether it's the deputy speaker, whether it's the deputy clerk. And I keep saying that these are folks that are already in total alignment with the majority black. Do you think Joseph Boga want to go give a budget to the speaker when he knows the speaker cannot even conduct a quorum? Does that make any sense to you? Then how do you pass the budget? How do you pass the budget into law before sending it back to the executive? How do you do that? They are not. In as much that the speaker remains the speaker on paper, at the end of the day, when it comes to the day-to-day activities and function of the house, he's not the speaker now, as far as I'm concerned, because he cannot even conduct the Liberian people business. So why making any difference? He's just a regular lawmaker now. Even though on paper he's the speaker, we understand that. But my brother, the day-to-day functions and activity of the house, there are rules, there are procedure, and politics will always interfere. So do the right thing. It's up to them. Which one they can prioritize? You can prioritize the budget, or you can recuse yourself before an investigation. It's up to you, but there should be a solution. If there cannot be a solution to bring the stalemate to a peaceful resolution, the executive will do business with the majority black, because at the current moment, they are the one with the number to conduct the Liberian people business. Simple as that, my brother. You can interpret how you want.
Mark, yeah, Mark, I like that. That's the understanding when it comes to all of the audience and put it. But again, Mark, quickly before we go to the line, in fact, this news about the deputy chief clerk and so forth, these are all unconfirmed. That these are news that we're getting, that the deputy chief clerk has submitted the budget to the deputy speaker, but these are all unconfirmed news and reports that we're getting on this platform. So let's make this clear. Maybe before maybe the deputy chief clerk mind may change and want to carry to the speaker's side. Who knows? But again, Mom, that's the country. But let's go, Mom. Because we talk about common sense. Mom.
Look at listen to the comment from Patient. He said, Patient, Mom, you got that wrong. You guys are the one making those criminals doing criminal business. They are all criminals on both sides. We are just saying to get the country business going. That's it. They are not. So I'm not backing anybody though.
And that's the thing, Mom. So I was asking you now about the common sense, because all of these things, when you talk, they say it's legislative politics, it's this and that. But Mom, common sense, is it making any impact in the life of the people?
No, they're not even benefiting. They should be mad at what's happening now, but they are not. They are mostly interested in picking the side than actually seeing who is being affected. It's the same thing that happens every single day. The people who were distributing money above themselves to remove the speaker, that's also an illegal process. But equally so, they are bringing accusations that in 2 budget cycles, your speaker walked away with more than $7 million. Which one should be more concerning to you? Which one impacted you the most? No, you are not interested in that. You are talking about who is legitimate, who not. Who cares who is about legitimacy? When you steal from the national budget, that's also a crime. That's a criminal offense, because the budget is a law. So you cannot be calling for a constitution and be quoting the constitution when in fact you are the same person violating the constitution. Are you not aware that when you steal money from the budget is an offense? Because the budget is a law. Are you not breaking the law? Isn't that also constitutional? That when you steal from the budget, you commit a crime? So there is no right party here. We are just saying they should come up with a peaceful resolution to keep the country business going. But for you want to pick a side. That's your problem. You always want to pick a side. Go ahead, maybe.
Well, so Mark, yeah, so let's go to the line. Even though I was talking about the US students, and that is started, Mark, it's a 1970 what? Because you always getting so many records, because the US stuff from 1979 up to 1980, that just become one of the tradition. I don't know, the progressive, because I've been hearing some of the words that the progressive, they're always using the kind of tactics, and this is one of the reasons why this UL, the one UL can get on course or can get better. Why you think is the problem with
Melbourne, the university or the state universities will be the one that set the course of agenda about the country's future when it comes to education, right? You send people to
100%.
university to acquire skills and to get credentials to make themselves marketable in life. Unfortunately, our university almost like it's a militant camp to produce revolutionary to bring more problem to society. Because the most I can see coming off from what every day is protest, every day is some battlecraft from South Africa. Yeah, everybody it's a cultural thing because it's been happening for the past 30 or 40 years. You got people that are not interested in learning, they are more interested in politics than going out there to get that credential, to get skills, to acquire the knowledge that they need to succeed in life. So we keep producing more militant because remember that's all most of the courses we offer. You can remember when I said on the show, I said the government of Liberia, if you will be wasting money to send people to Harvard, you are just wasting your time. You could send people to get hands-on technical advanced skill set that will be a tremendous impact or help to that country rather than bringing more people to go do political science and business administration and sociology to prestigious university that will come and add no value to the country only to come here and chant bottle crap. Your former finance minister also be chanting bottle crap. So why you expect no kids?
because Mark, I hope and pray that tomorrow during our show time, we'll talk about education tomorrow, will be maybe some of the UL graduates, some of the UL, in fact, high government or former and current government officials who are serving, even with including the current finance minister. Monk, how come the state-run university turn the way it is? How can things continue to get worse day by day? As you know, and when you say something though, it's not the people teaching, they're not teaching medicine. And you're right, Monk. How come?
But maybe you don't see it happening. In case they wear beret, they wear t-shirt, they do battle cry, they chant. They all picking at the inner the last time. They call him Water Sisulu. I said, but Water Sisulu, these are South African activists. How all of y'all got? I mean, we got nothing to do with South Africa, even though we are on the same continent. We are talking about things that happen in Liberia domestically. I mean, what interest you got in South Africa? Okay, yeah, you can learn from history. You can admire people. I can admire the leg of Gandhi, the Dr. King, or I would say Mandela. But if I matter to go to school every day to keep chanting border cry with people, like, how does it impact your education? How does it change your situation in Liberia? I'm not saying you cannot be an activist. There are sometimes things could go wrong in students. We can see students protesting, but they are for water causes. It's not just for every little thing, and people are all in the street. It's all battle cry. And you said it right. Even the public official, that's what they feed on, because in Liberia, every day and everything is only about politics. Nobody is interested in the education. Nobody is interested in healthcare. Even the people that are being affected themselves, they don't have interest in those things. They want to see riot police, students protesting the university campus, everybody chanting some kind of bottle cry, and that just
Mark, indeed. Look, let me just say this to all of you, our students.
Maybe I think one. I don't know. I know Chroma Alaji. If you want to come on, man, you gotta send notice ahead of time, and then when Milboy is organizing the show, then
we don't want to bring you on like
yeah,
that.
we can just bring you on randomly.
Yeah, sometimes let us know. All of you, like what keep saying on the show, if you want to be a guest panelist, let us know. Just tell Mon or Mom, I want to come on as a guest panelist. Most definitely, tell Sekou or Mose, Steve, or even me. I will send you the link. And you come on, but we shouldn't be on by this time. Right? We are about to go to the line. Not the time you want to come on. I don't know where you're going to talk.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, so we have no much time. We are now on the concluding point or part of our show here. So, Mark, I'm a bit confused and frustrated. Let me be frank with you today, Mark, because most of our government officials, our lawmakers, they come from our favorite university, Monk. But at the end of the day, Monk, the UL is the most talked about when it comes to all of the waste of time. When some students will go to school there in the name of going there to get a BSc in 4 years, or some will spend 8 years.
Yeah, 8 years.
10 years just in the name of protest. Every time they close, they protest, they close, they protest, they close. But you have one foreign minister. I come from the same UL.
Yeah, it be doing the bottle crack.
Yeah, you're not going to the liar. Look, but Liberia is so look. For me, I feel understand this country. And now understand that Liberia is a country where if Monk, if you don't put yourself together, you can make it. So Monk, anything quickly before I go to the line, or I should go to the line?
Well, just go to the line. Let you from put then we can just close it off for the day. We like 20 more
All
minutes
right.
away from so.
Wonderful. Yeah, my brother, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, David.
Let me respectfully disagree with Mo this evening. You see, Mo, the law is the law. What are statutory, what are constitutional, the law is the law. And we will not be able to follow the law in this country. And I think my brother, you can be a lot of this. Because if you would tell me because somebody got 43 members of lawmakers, and for some reason the budget should be submitted, the budget of Liberia now be submitted to the office of the chief clerk. They are always being submitted to the presiding officer. And who is the presiding? It is the speaker. So you take it and give it to 43 buddy, and what is telling us that the 43.
No, the more view, my brother. Hello, my brother. The more view. So you go ahead with your own view. Simple.
Yeah, so I want to say in a public manner.
Yeah.
Joseph Walker, why is it true? We know that he's a lawless woman. We know he's not getting the country anywhere. Yeah, because the Supreme Court, rule no turning official. No turning official. The Supreme Court rule if you were there, Joseph Walker went and fired those people and brought party owners so that a generator can make money more than human being, and they are sitting there today eating a very good money and not working for it.
All right, thank you so much. Let me go to the diaspora. I think this cut off for UK, maybe someone around. Let me just go into you, Chief. Is that same Chief? I'm okay, my brother. Thank you.
Following the conversation, the very first thing is, I'm on the side of the students. I think the students are right. The students are never wrong in my mind, and I will say that with both face.
Indeed.
I myself, I passed through the University of Liberia. Basically, the issue about education is a fundamental right. What the government is doing is an abuse of human rights. And that's why I take this out of the students. If systems are in place in that place, you'll not get people protesting and doing whatever. When President Weah came to power, there were protests. The protest was digitalizing the system and the issue about the credit. One is Weah went and for the first time digitalized the system. Because I was in UL, the difficulty, we enter UL about 3
for you to enter before it was very, very difficult. I know, my brother, but go ahead.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So it's difficult to enter, difficult to stay, and difficult to leave. So the difficult to enter, basically the issue about registration. So when the system got digital, some of us could sit in our offices and just run our system through. And these things were working now. When Mr. Parker came to power, what they did, everybody was celebrating it. They allocated over 30 million to you. Everybody, first time in history, you get 30 million. But to access that money was a problem. They prefer to take over 700,000 to give it to the House of Senate to go on a very cosmetic retreat in Buchanan when there was no chair at the University of Liberia. When teachers are being paid, that's insensitivity. So if Mr. Braga is accessing 1.5 million to buy a bulletproof vehicle, but they can access 2 million, 3 million, so that the school can get their basic needs. Don't you think it's a recipe to evoke a protest when I came on Mr. More? I think your feeling on this matter is very weird. And I'm surprised how highly intellectual men like you will be
hello. Yes, hello. The question is, should we continue like this? That's the question, because mind you, even the current finance minister also hail from that university, right?
Yes.
Good. Good. So that's the question I was asking. Even the former finance minister Samuel Toy. So should we continue with their path? Yes, correct. Go ahead.
No, in my honest opinion, we shouldn't continue like this. But there's no signal that there's going to be a change in the system and education going to be given more priority. 100 times I will protect the students' action. Now, let me conclude with this speaker election thing. How the confusion more you need to stop. Most of us will follow you on the platform. No matter whatever your position is today, you one person who are holding high esteem on the platform because you always do critical analysis. The law is the law. You talk about off budget spending. Go and read the international management law. Off budget spending is not a crime. They say it should be done in consultation with the legislator. Now, if Funanti truly outspent his budget, like they were fact check, and the fact check proved that he outspent his budget, that's why the law call for due process. How do you hear them meant to justify if the money was spent the right way or not? Now, let's talk about sanity. Or let's talk about
all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We gotta give. Yeah. 30 seconds now. We gotta give other people to the chance to talk.
All right, no problem. No problem.
All right, thank you. At least you go nearly 4 minutes, so at least I think we give you, indeed we give you due diligence because you call from that from outside of Liberia. So let's go. Good evening. Yeah, go ahead. All right, go ahead, my brother.
I think the last time I called on your show and spoke with the issue of the foreign scientists. And my suggestion was if I was Speaker Kufa, and I know I got about 25 or more men, even though we don't make the majority, I would have gone to sit where the majorities are. Because obviously they will set a committee to investigate him. He will be found guilty, that is obvious. But when it reaches a resolution, they will not have a resolution. They will not have for the 9 members to remove him.
So then what's going to happen next?
Yeah, then besides that, I was thinking of what had just happened. I'm very sure the budget has gone to the majority. Do you believe that all those who belong to Kupa, some of them will not leave to go discuss the budget in the interest of the district? I'm sure they will do it.
Well, we don't know.
Because I can't believe for the speaker, even though I for him, when I take the interest of all the interest of my district I represent.
All right.
Someone else come willing to go to the majority because they want the interest of the district to be set. Some of them they want money for school. Then they want clinics, and they want other development projects. So if they don't go there to discuss it, the other member who will be there to discuss it, they put things in the budget for the district, and they will be the loser.
All right.
Sometimes you have the legality is there, but sometimes it goes to you common sense.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, common sense. So, Emmanuel Zaza, I hope I get the last name correct, calling from the U.S. Good evening, my brother.
You got it right. Thank you so much. I want to speak on 2 things.
Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
You cannot go without legality. People should stop supporting amateur and barbaric behaviors. If the speaker steals, it takes the law to judge the speaker. You can't jump in the street and say, oh, because they may kill, so you just jump on the man, kill the man. You know, mob justice. It's something that's happening in the house right now. The speaker still, we agree. Do it legally, take it from there legally, judge him, we see it, you take him to the law. That is the thing. Actually, these are allegations. Nobody can stand by now and say, oh, what are they in the house that got the same thing behind them? You don't stand on allegations because the man is guilty, is accused of stealing 7 million, so you should just go. That, for me, it doesn't make sense to me. The second thing, the law says, if according to their own rules, the clerk receives all documentation that goes to the house in the outset of the session. They did not say it would be addressed to the clerk. Yes, no law has said address communication to the clerk. They say the clerk should receive the communication. So if you address the clerk, you already in violation. According to your own rules, read it. Rule 25.
Are you talking about the budget? Because the budget was addressed to the legislature, though.
It should be addressed to the speaker. It can be given to the clerk. Doesn't matter, but it has to be addressed to the speaker.
All right.
The speaker, it has to be addressed, and then it's received by the clerk. If it's addressed to the clerk, it's violation. We can't keep pushing for things that are not. We see good things around us. We see good governance outside of Liberia. We want to put good governance in Liberia. You don't like the speaker, send a prayer. I don't want the speaker be approved by the law. Since the end of the war, we have 6 illegal removal of elected officials. We should not do that. The speakership is established by the Constitution. It's not standing rule. So you follow the Constitution, see when you take this president from there, and see when you take the speaker from here. For God's sake, man.
All right, Brother Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. For God's sake, it's not, it's not easy to love you that you meet. So let's call a good evening. Yeah, my brother, go ahead. Go ahead, my brother.
Sometimes I turn my radio on and I hear people discussing about love makeup, people that are not in our interest. It bring me to the estate. And you move from a tip of today. What you and myself will benefit from it. That the same law may go and benefit today. If this law may go and want to put somebody there today, if they move from a tip of either one would benefit. So it will continue talking about the gas and it can bring me to the estate that sometimes if I see somebody that they want to do something stupid to be honest with you, excuse for the expression. Because you vote for people to improve your life. But they got that they're doing everything for themselves. They always know we get a lot of things that happen to our people. How comfortable our people, our country is going back up under the speaking. They don't want to be focusing on. It's all the law they're going to. What's the law they're going to do for us? Today, the one you vote for the Jacoba, what will be everybody for the Jacoba? Nothing. For the Jacoba, they will stay in Aja Pofote.
All right.
You be the next person will not stay in Aja Pofote.
We'll protest anyway. Now we'll go out. Now we'll put a benefit. Every time we're going to protest. Pascal Davis, people have been protesting. You still protesting. Good evening. My brother, let's keep on the protest. One day, one. Yeah, go ahead. Oh. Where are you, my young man? We're not getting too clear. Where are you? I hope you're not part of some of the protest people that are soup. My man, I think you got to get from all of that play you have because we're not getting. Yeah, we're getting you now. Go ahead. Pascal, we're not getting you. Not go to house. My worry, good evening. I'm okay. Thank God for life. And Saturday yesterday, the phone on chat when you were calling. Go ahead. Mark. Yeah, I think it's afternoon time. We're not a protest. Yeah, what do you do?
If the people take the budget to go to the majority. Therefore, the problem for area is we are talking about rule of law. So the thing when we understand as or when I go to school now, what we understand here is so Liberia, you can do anything you go free because the very president that will put in power, he started breaking the of this country. He started breaking all the rules in this country. So what the people doing? The problem is that's supposed to be there. Can you imagine people? Everyone left the country, the key to Liberia. Our Lord Maker.
The people are not even looking at your religious leaders. The people don't get time for them to talk about ECOWAS. Go ahead. Go ahead, man, dear. Thank you. Maybe we take one or two more calls and see how best to go about. Today's caller, good evening. Yeah, good evening. Your name and from where you join us.
Thank you so much, Chief. This is someone taking one from Broadhead. Let me take you into the SLSC.
Wonderful. Samuel, thank you for joining us. And how your community, my man? When you want to have.
Okay. Let me agree with you and more this evening when it comes to the issue of University of Liberia. As I know, we have the Collington and the University of Liberia that are equivalent or university in the record now in the world. But I mean, the issue of the university has become popular people in society, but yes, our people have been used for political reasons. The university also gives direction and example to all different universities or colleges around here. They have been used for political reasons. Only to go to Hara, but I mean, this is going for ourselves. And the issue of personality go for the most. I mean, when someone is still sad and someone is still thinking that it is criminality, they never in a public meeting that yes, I have 1.5 million in my budget, but the who's of course is fairly or not every. That's a crime. They may also say there is who in a
that happened to the tree that anybody had been described. He himself had been described for sexually and asked to society. Only because they trying to remove it as because we want to buy progressive. So honestly, I want to fully agree with money even that anybody so far that is criminal, anybody so far that is criminal. So the people, we cannot qualify what is as somebody who are looking to the big thing. All of them have to go to the country where we kill himself and go to politician.
Thank you so much, Samuel, and thank you for always finding SKTV. Let's move on now. This international corner will be our last caller. Cross over to Mo to respond to some of the this caller. Yeah, indeed. Good evening.
This is the other caller to
yeah, I'm seeing Ben. I'm seeing Ben on the number.
I kind of love analysis of just that we kind of differ on the word on a whole lot. In the first place, any law that governs any authority in Liberia must conform to the Constitution. So we will start from there first. And then the Constitution states that the Speaker is the head of the body. Even in their own rules, the rule says that the Speaker is the head. And if the Speaker says, I will recuse myself from the investigation, does not mean that the Speaker loses all of his rights on other things. The Speaker, when the budget comes, the Speaker can still run, can still be the one who will lead that budget meeting, because he still does not lose his right, because their complaint is not about the Speaker doing anything bad with the budget. Their only complaint is about some bad function that you have had in the previous budget. So when that particular part comes on the floor, then the Speaker removes himself. But any other thing, the Speaker still remains the Speaker. I don't know how hard is this one for anybody to understand that because you recuse yourself means that you lose all your rights. No, it does not happen that way.
All right, thank you so much, Chief. Yeah, 30 seconds, we got to go, no time.
All right, so 30 seconds. Even the accusation about the amount of money that was in the Speaker budget. You know, in Liberia, even under the NSA budget, there have been tons of amount of money that were put in there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. I think all of the callers, everything to you, so you can respond. Then we'll go. No time.
Well, it's up to them to interpret how they want to interpret it. I'm not saying the Speaker is going to lose all his power because certain group of people brought allegations against him. I am saying the first order of operation in the House is to call for a quorum. A quorum means you are doing the Liberian people business, and we got a budget. The budget is the largest or the biggest instrument in the entire bureaucracy in Liberia, that all three branches is counting on that budget to make sure the operation and function of the country can keep going on. The Speaker is not in the position to do that. He can be Speaker on paper. That's why the law says he remains the Speaker. But when you are Speaker on paper and you cannot execute your day-to-day activity, it makes you an ordinary lawmaker, because nobody voted for a Speaker. People voted for a lawmaker who his own colleague ended up making a Speaker. So when you got the people who can conduct business on behalf of the Liberian people, and when the budget, and tomorrow is a very important day because they will start deliberating and start having some hearing on the budget. So you will sit out and watch the process play. You will get to know who is in power yet. You will get to know who is the real plenary, because I know at the end of the day, I am just telling you, you can quote all your constitutional provisions. There is now a constitutional matter as it stands. It's a political matter happening between two blocks in the House. That's why I keep saying, I don't know, some people, when they listen, they don't listen what people say here. I say when we get to a constitutional crisis, the constitution and the judiciary branch will intervene and they will interpret the law as it stands now. There is a political matter, there is a horse matter, and we are hoping for the best resolution. That's why even ECOWAS came, they couldn't find a solution. I am saying, if this fight continue, the executive is more than likely to do business with the people who have the number to conduct government business and operation. That's why I keep saying yes. So I'm not telling that when the Speaker recused himself, it means he lost all his power automatically. No, There are certain allegations that has been made against him, and he will have to defend himself. When we get to that particular bridge that Liberian people can say, we will cross it. As it stands now, we are not there yet. We just want to make sure there is a resolution that we can get a budget passed to be ready for 2025. That's why they call it a draft. It's a draft budget. They have to deliberate on the budget. And
wonderful.
Go ahead, Mabel.
Wonderful, Mark. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. We gotta go. Even though we've been in between with times, but thank you so much. And on tomorrow, like you are saying, we're going to look at some of these things. The budget, where the budget will go on tomorrow, and we're going to debate the budget, whether it is minority black or the majority
black.
All of us, we're going to see.
Just watch the process play out. Why you so frightened? Just let it play out. You will get to know. At the end of the day, you will see the process taking shape, and you will know exactly who got balls here to keep going the longest. I mean, it's just simple. I don't know why people keep going.
Thank you, Mark, and good night on our end here in Liberia. Thanks to all of you, our followers, our viewers. Good night on the SKTV show. We'll catch you, and that will be on tomorrow by the grace of the Almighty God. Good night. Thanks to all of our team members, headed by Sekou Kane, Moses Tibole, and that'll be Zena Monk, and I'm Johnson Mabel Kula right here in Liberia. Good night from our end.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the club. What is our people who waiting to sell? The blessing that time and the effort are rest. The brothers giving us the end, the promise from them. So welcome my life with African.
A lyrical health.
Master.
Play Paris, who make on you. I can't Sktv menu. C'est ma chenille, tina ke ase ma yamu. Enji sano muni, emu aye yo. Enji lofa mui, emu aye yo.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Muscle rather lofa and grandbaza.
Ena dine ya tumale, ena salia ya tumale, ena kwanagli ya tumale, ena kodubwa ya tumale, ena dine ya tumale, ena salia ya tumale, ena kwanagli ya tumale, ena kodubwa ya tumale, ena napagiyari na ya tumale, Sktv, ena napagiyari na, tosi wako ma ya tumale,
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Muscle rather lofa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. What is our people who waiting to sell? The blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving are real and the promise from best. The world with my life with us, yeah. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from River Sass, River G to Chile, from Bantu, Bombing, Kidman, Montserrat, Sano to Bakwalu, from Maryland, Bonkan to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.